Welcome aboard, everyone. It is so wonderful to have you back in the galley with me today. If you are new here, pull up a jump seat and get comfortable. I'm Chloe. I have been a flight attendant for over 18 years, flying domestically across the United States and internationally to destinations I once only dreamed about. I have served countless meals at 35,000 feet. I have helped nervous first time flyers find their calm. And I have watched passengers make seating decisions that turned a pleasant trip into hours of discomfort, or in some cases, a genuine health scare. Today, we need to have an important conversation about where you sit on an airplane. Not just about comfort, although that matters too. We are talking about your health, your safety, and your ability to actually enjoy your trip once you land. Because here is something most travelers over 60 don't realize. There are certain seats on every single aircraft that can cause real problems for seniors. And the frustrating part? Once you are seated and that door closes, airlines are often unable or unwilling to move you, so grab your reading glasses. Maybe pour yourself a cup of tea. We are going to walk through the seats you should never book, why they are genuinely problematic for mature travelers, and exactly what to request instead. By the end of this video, you will know more about airplane seating than most passengers half your age. Let's start with the seat that catches more seniors off guard than any other, the row directly in front of the exit row. I see this happen constantly. A passenger books what looks like a perfectly normal seat. Maybe it's row 14 on a Boeing 737. They board the plane, settle in, and about an hour into the flight, they reach for that recline button. Nothing happens. They press harder, still nothing. That seat does not recline. It will never recline. And nobody told them. Here is why this matters more than you might think. For seniors, especially those with lower back issues, arthritis, or spinal stenosis, the ability to recline even a few inches can be the difference between arriving refreshed and arriving in agony. When you recline, you redistribute the pressure on your spine. You reduce the compression on your lumbar discs. You allow your muscles to relax slightly. Without that recline, you are locked into an upright position for the entire flight. The reason these seats don't recline is safety. They are positioned directly in front of emergency exits, and if they reclined, they would block passengers trying to evacuate. The airlines are following federal regulations. But here is what frustrates me as a crew member. Many booking systems do not clearly warn you that these seats are recline restricted. You might see a note buried in the fine print, or you might see nothing at all. If you have booked one of these seats and you ask me to move you once we have closed the doors, I often cannot help you. The flight may be full. The other passengers have their assigned seats. I am not authorized to displace someone from a seat they paid for. You are stuck. So how do you avoid this? Before you book, check a seat map website. Look for the exit rows on your specific aircraft, then count one row forward. Those are the seats that do not recline. Do not book them, simple as that. Now, let's talk about the exit row itself. I know many people think exit rows are premium seats because of the extra leg room. And yes, you do get more space for your legs. But here's what the airlines are legally required to tell you, and what you need to take seriously if you are over 60. To sit in an exit row, you must be physically capable of assisting in an emergency evacuation. This is not a suggestion. It is federal law under FAA regulations. You must be able to locate and open the emergency exit. You must be able to lift the exit door or window, which can weigh anywhere from 40 to over 60 pounds. You must be able to quickly exit the aircraft and help direct other passengers. You must be able to understand and follow instructions in English. And you cannot have any condition that would prevent you from performing these duties. If you have mobility issues, if you use a cane or walker, if you have had recent surgery, if you have severe arthritis in your hands or shoulders, if you have hearing or vision impairments that aren't corrected, you should not be sitting in the exit row. And I need to be honest with you here. As flight attendants, we are required to assess passengers in exit rows during boarding. If I determine that you cannot perform the necessary functions, I have the authority and the responsibility to reseat you. But here's the problem. If the flight is full, where do I move you? Often, the only available seats are middle seats in the back of the plane. You might have paid extra for that exit row, and now you are crammed between two strangers next to the lavatory. And the refund for your premium seat? That is not something I can process at 30,000 feet. Furthermore, if there are two exit rows back to back, which is common on larger narrow-body aircraft like the Boeing 737-800 or Airbus A321, The first exit row seats do not recline. You have the leg room, but you are sitting bolt upright for the entire flight. Same problem as the row in front of the exit. Let's move on to another seat that creates serious issues for seniors, the window seat. Now, I love a good window seat. The views can be spectacular. But for passengers over 60, especially on flights longer than 4 hours, window seats carry a hidden health risk that most people don't think about until it's too late. Deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. DVT occurs when a blood clot forms in one of the deep veins of your body, usually in your legs. If that clot breaks loose and travels to your lungs, it can cause a pulmonary embolism, which is a life-threatening emergency. According to the American College of Chest Physicians, sitting in a window seat is an independent risk factor for developing DVT. The reason is simple. When you are in a window seat, you're less likely to get up and move around. You have to climb over one or two people to reach the aisle. Many passengers, especially polite seniors who don't want to disturb others, simply stay seated for hours. This is compounded by other risk factors that become more common as we age. Recent surgery, obesity, a history of blood clots, varicose veins, hormone replacement therapy. The longer the flight and the more still you remain, the higher your risk. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that travelers on flights longer than 4 hours get up and walk around every 2 to 3 hours. Do calf exercises while seated, stay hydrated. And if you are at elevated risk, wear compression stockings. But here's my insider advice. Book an aisle seat. Not just for convenience, but for your health. When you are on the aisle, it is effortless to stand up, stretch your legs, take a quick walk to the back of the plane. Nobody has to move for you. You maintain your independence and your circulation. Now, some passengers tell me they book window seats because they need something to lean against to sleep. I understand that. But a good travel pillow accomplishes the same thing without trapping you in place. Your ability to move freely is worth more than a view of the clouds. Let's discuss bulkhead seats. These are the seats at the very front of a cabin section, right behind the wall divider. They are often marketed as premium seats because there is no one in front of you. But for seniors, they come with several drawbacks that are rarely advertised. First, there is no seat in front of you, which means there is no under-seat storage. Everything you bring on board must go in the overhead bin. For passengers who need frequent access to medications, reading glasses, snacks, or personal items, this is incredibly inconvenient. Every time you need something, you have to unbuckle, stand up, open the bin, and fish around. If the plane is experiencing turbulence, the fasten seatbelt sign is on and you cannot access your belongings at all. Second, the armrests and bulkhead rows are often fixed. They do not lift up. This means you cannot slide in easily. You have to lower yourself straight down into the seat. For passengers with hip issues or reduced mobility, this can be genuinely difficult. Third, on many aircraft, bulkhead seats have entertainment screens that fold out from the armrest rather than being mounted on the seat back in front. These armrest screens make the armrest wider, which actually makes the seat itself narrower, less room for you. Fourth, and this matters on longer flights, bulkhead rows are often where families with infants are seated because the bassinet attachments are on the bulkhead wall. If you are hoping for a quiet, peaceful flight, the bulkhead row is frequently not the place to find it. So, what should you book instead? My recommendation for seniors is a standard aisle seat, roughly in the middle of the cabin, at least 2 rows away from the exit row. Check the seat map to ensure your seat reclines. Verify that you have under-seat storage. This gives you the best combination of accessibility, comfort, and health safety. Let me share a quick checklist to use before every flight. First, research your specific aircraft. Seat configurations vary dramatically, even among planes with the same name. A Boeing 737-800 from one airline might have completely different layouts than the same aircraft type from another carrier. Use websites that show detailed seat maps to identify the trouble spots. Second, book early. The good seats go fast. If you wait until the last minute, you will be stuck with whatever is left, which is often the seats nobody else wanted. Third, contact the airline if you have specific medical needs. Ask about priority boarding so you have time to settle in without being rushed. Ask about seats with more legroom that are not exit rows. Some airlines have extra legroom economy sections that do not come with emergency responsibilities. Fourth, wear compression socks on flights over 4 hours. They are inexpensive, they work, and they could prevent a serious medical event. Fifth, set a reminder on your phone to get up and move every 2 hours. Even a walk to the lavatory and back makes a difference. Sixth, bring a small lumbar support pillow or even a rolled up sweater to place in the curve of your lower back. This helps maintain proper spinal alignment in seats that offer minimal support. I want you to travel with confidence. I want you to step off that plane feeling as good as you did when you boarded. That starts with choosing the right seat and knowing what to avoid. In my next video, I am going to discuss the new TSA regulations affecting seniors in 2026, including some changes that could affect your medications and medical devices. You do not want to be caught off guard by these updates. Thank you so much for trusting me with your travel plans. If this information was helpful, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Share this video with a friend who has a trip coming up, and leave a comment below telling me about your own airplane seating experiences. The good, the bad, and the ones that taught you a lesson. Stay safe, stay comfortable, and I will see you in the skies. Bye, everyone.